Part 1, The Unforeseen Auction. Marcus Drayton stood at the edge of the bustling marketplace on Vespera Station, his heart racing with anticipation and uncertainty. The air was thick with chatter from traders and scavengers, each vying for attention amidst the colorful stalls displaying exotic goods from across the galaxy. Today was not just any day, it was auction day, a chance for him to change his fortunes forever. He had spent years working as a mechanic in the shadow of larger ships and more affluent competitors. His hands were calloused from countless repairs, but his mind was sharp and inventive. Today, he hoped to find something extraordinary, something that could elevate his modest workshop into a renowned repair facility. As he navigated through the throngs of people, Marcus's eyes fell upon a large display area at the center of the station. There it was, Lot 137, a selection vessel unlike anything he had ever seen. Its hull shimmered under the artificial lights, reflecting hues that danced like liquid metal across its surface. The vessel's design was angular and organic, pulsing faintly with an eerie blue light that seemed to breathe. "Are you sure about this?" came a voice beside him. It was Ellie Mendez, his longtime friend and fellow mechanic. Her brow furrowed as she scrutinized the ship. "They say it has our 3 AI systems and nearly crushed a pilot on a test run." Marcus smirked, undeterred by her skepticism. "That's what makes it interesting. If I can figure it out, it'll be worth 10 times what I'm paying, maybe more." He felt a thrill at the thought of unlocking the vessel's potential. Ellie raised an eyebrow skeptically. "If you can figure it out, big if. This is alien tech, they don't exactly come with manuals." "Exactly," Marcus replied confidently. "This ship isn't broken, it's just misunderstood. All it needs is the right pair of hands." The auctioneer's voice crackled over the intercom. "Lot 137, unidentified selection vessel, final bids closing in 5 minutes. Opening price, 70,000 credits." Ellie whistled softly at the amount. 70 grand? You're serious about this?" Marcus nodded firmly, his heart pounding in his chest as he thought of all he had sacrificed to save up for this moment. He had poured every spare credit from his repair business into this opportunity. As time ticked down, he felt a mix of exhilaration and fear wash over him. His finger hovered over the bid button on his handheld device. This was it, the moment that could change everything. Just before the timer reached 0, he pressed it. "Sold. Lot 137 goes to Mr. Drayton," announced the auctioneer. A wave of emotions crashed over him, elation mixed with terror at what he had just committed to do. As spectators began to disperse, Ellie shook her head in disbelief but couldn't hide her admiration for his boldness. "You've officially lost it," she said with a chuckle. "What's your plan now?" "First," Marcus replied with determination, "I'm getting her back to my shop." He strode confidently toward the docking bay where his new acquisition awaited him. As he approached the vessel, he felt an unusual energy emanating from it, a hum that resonated deep within him as if welcoming him aboard. The ramp lowered with a soft hiss, revealing an interior that was both foreign and mesmerizing. Inside, cool air tinged with metallic tang enveloped him as he stepped into what felt like a labyrinth of glowing conduits and alien consoles, none of which looked remotely familiar. His gaze fell upon the cockpit. Its controls were arranged in a semicircular array of pulsating lights and holograms that beckoned him closer. With each step deeper into this alien world, Marcus felt both awe and trepidation wash over him. He ran his hand along one of the consoles, its surface pulsed warmly beneath his touch as if responding to him directly. "What have you gotten yourself into?" he muttered under his breath, both thrilled and uneasy at what lay ahead. The auction staff arrived to finalize the transaction, quickly handing him a data pad filled with sparse information about the ship, most of which was shrouded in mystery even to them. As they left hastily, clearly eager to part ways with such an infamous vessel, Marcus stood alone in the cockpit staring out at the star-speckled void beyond him. Doubt crept into his mind for just a moment before being overshadowed by an overwhelming sense of determination. This ship was more than just metal and circuitry, it was a mystery waiting to be unraveled, a puzzle begging for resolution, and Marcus Drayton was ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead in uncovering its secrets. Once back at his workshop on Triton's outskirts, a far cry from glamorous but equipped for any repair job, Marcus prepared himself for what would undoubtedly be an arduous task ahead. As he settled into work mode, Ellie began running scans using her portable analyzer connected to monitors displaying streams of incomprehensible alien data. "I don't even know where to start," she muttered in frustration as she observed readings that made no sense whatsoever. "It's not broken," Marcus reassured her while crouching near one of the landing struts where warmth radiated from beneath his fingertips. "It's just different." Ellie rolled her eyes but couldn't hide her curiosity as she continued her analysis despite encountering resistance from the ship's systems which seemed determined not to cooperate. "Your organism just rejected every diagnostic tool I threw at it," she exclaimed exasperatedly while trying yet another approach without success. Marcus chuckled softly at her irritation. There was something exhilarating about working on this enigmatic craft. It felt alive in ways he couldn't fully explain or comprehend yet. "Maybe I'll just talk to it," he suggested playfully as he climbed up into the cockpit again, determined not to let doubt deter him any longer. Ellie's skeptical gaze followed him as she crossed her arms defensively but remained silent as he settled into place before reaching out towards one of its consoles once more, the pulsing lights illuminating around him like stars coming alive in response to his presence. As soon as his hand made contact with its surface again, the ship reacted instantly. Lights flared across every panel while humming intensified around him, creating an atmosphere filled with anticipation and wonderment alike. "What's going on up there?" Ellie's voice crackled through their communication system, breaking through moments filled only by awe-filled silence between them both. I think it's waking up," Marcus replied breathlessly, feeling exhilarated by this newfound connection forming between them. The console displayed shifting symbols rearranging themselves rhythmically, almost like some form of communication unfolding right before their very eyes. Suddenly, a map emerged showcasing stars scattered across vast expanses alongside glowing red dots marking coordinates deep within uncharted territories unknown even amongst seasoned explorers. "Are you seeing this?" Marcus called out excitedly, unable to contain himself. "Yeah," Ellie replied cautiously, observing details unfold before them both. "But those coordinates don't match anything in our database." A sense of urgency gripped Marcus', heart racing faster than ever before. He could feel something pulling him toward those coordinates, an undeniable urge compelling him forward. "I don't know where we're going," he admitted breathlessly, glancing back toward Ellie whose expression mirrored uncertainty mixed with intrigue. Before either could process further, the cockpit door sealed itself shut behind them, emitting soft hissing sounds while lights brightened, illuminating their surroundings once more. In that moment, the controls came alive, responding eagerly under Marcus' touch, inviting him deeper into this journey awaiting them both. "Tom!" Ellie exclaimed urgently, realizing what was happening too late. But there was no turning back now. The ship roared into action, lifting effortlessly off its platform, propelling them both straight into star-speckled void beyond Vespera Station, leaving everything familiar behind. As they shot through space at breathtaking speeds, stars blurred into streaks illuminating paths unknown. For once, Marcus didn't feel like merely piloting another machine. Instead, he felt alive. He had become part of something greater than himself, a partnership forged between man and machine, intertwined within cosmic wonders yet unexplored. Part 2, First Contact. Dr. Lila Voss stood in her cluttered lab on the outskirts of the Galactic Research Institute, surrounded by holographic displays and alien artifacts. Her reputation as an expert in extraterrestrial technology had drawn attention from various sectors, but today, her focus was solely on one enigmatic vessel, the Selection ship recently acquired by Marcus Drayton. Rumors of its mysterious capabilities had reached her ears, and she felt an irresistible pull to investigate. "Lila, are you sure about this?" asked Jonah, her assistant, as he organized a series of tools on the workbench. His brow was furrowed with concern. That ship has a history. It's been known to malfunction and even harm those who try to interface with it. Lila turned to him, her eyes sparkling with excitement. That's exactly why we need to study it. If it's truly alive, as some suggest, we might uncover secrets that could revolutionize our understanding of alien technology. She had always been fascinated by the intersection of biology and machinery, and this ship represented the pinnacle of that fascination. Jonah sighed but couldn't hide his curiosity. All right, but let's be careful. We don't know what we're dealing with here. With a nod, Lila gathered her equipment and set off for Marcus's workshop. The journey through the bustling spaceport was filled with anticipation. She could hardly contain her eagerness to see the ship up close. As she arrived at the hangar, she was struck by its imposing presence. The vessel loomed over everything else, its surface shimmering under the harsh lights. "Marcus," she called out as she stepped inside. He looked up from his console, a wide grin spreading across his face. "Dr. Voss. I'm glad you could make it." He gestured toward the cockpit. "I think it's ready for you." As Lila approached the ship, she felt an odd sensation wash over her, a mix of trepidation and exhilaration. The air around it seemed charged with energy, almost like static electricity. She placed her hand on the hull. It was warm to the touch, pulsing rhythmically as if it were alive. "What do you think?" Marcus asked, watching her closely. "I think it's incredible," Lila replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "But we need to be cautious." She activated her portable scanner and began running diagnostics while Marcus monitored the ship's systems from his console. The moment she initiated the scan, the ship reacted, lights flickered and a low hum resonated through its frame. Lila exchanged a glance with Marcus. Both were taken aback by how responsive it was. "Did you see that?" Marcus exclaimed. "It's reacting to your scanner." Lila nodded, intrigued. "It seems to have some form of awareness." She continued her analysis, noting how the ship's systems were not just passive but actively engaging with her tools. Suddenly, an alert flashed across her scanner. A series of symbols appeared on its display that seemed to pulse in sync with the ship's heartbeat. "What is this?" Lila muttered as she leaned closer to decipher the symbols. "I've never seen anything like it," Marcus said, peering over her shoulder. "It looks like some sort of language." Before they could delve deeper into their findings, a holographic projection erupted from the ship's console. A three-dimensional map of nearby star systems appeared before them, highlighting various routes and destinations. "Look!" Lila pointed excitedly at a glowing red dot deep within uncharted space. "It's showing us something." Marcus frowned slightly as he studied the map. "But where is it trying to take us? This area isn't even on our charts." Lila felt a thrill run down her spine. This was more than just a ship, it was a guide leading them toward something unknown. "We need to follow it," she urged. "Are you sure that's wise?" Jonah interjected cautiously from behind them. "We have no idea what could be out there." Lila turned to him, determination in her eyes. "This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If we can establish communication with this vessel and understand its purpose, we could unlock mysteries beyond our wildest dreams." Marcus nodded in agreement. "I'm with you on this one, Lila." With their minds made up, they prepared for takeoff. As they settled into their seats in the cockpit, Lila felt an electric tension in the air. This was it, they were about to embark on an extraordinary journey. "Ready?" Marcus asked as he engaged the controls. Lila took a deep breath and nodded firmly. "Let's do this." The ship responded immediately. Its engines roared to life with an otherworldly hum that reverberated through their bodies. They lifted off smoothly from the hangar floor and shot into open space at breathtaking speed. As they soared through the cosmos, Lila marveled at how effortlessly the ship navigated through stars and planets alike. its movements were fluid and graceful as if dancing among celestial bodies. "Can you believe this?" Lila exclaimed over the comms as they flew past a vibrant nebula swirling with colors unseen in human space. "It feels like we're part of something greater," Marcus replied, his voice filled with awe. Suddenly, without warning, the ship began to slow down as they approached an asteroid field, a chaotic maze of massive rocks tumbling through space illuminated by distant starlight. "Hold on!" Marcus shouted as he deftly maneuvered around incoming asteroids while Lila monitored their surroundings closely. The holographic display updated in real time, highlighting safe paths through the field while warning signals flashed for potential collisions ahead. "This is incredible!" Lila shouted over the din of alarms echoing throughout their cockpit as they dodged yet another massive boulder that spun dangerously close. Just then, a sharp crackle reverberated through their comm system. Jonah's voice broke through urgently, "You've got incoming fire. Automated turrets are locking onto your position." "What?" Marcus exclaimed incredulously as he glanced at Lila, who was already scanning for threats outside their viewport. Sure enough, turrets mounted on larger asteroids swiveled towards them, bolts of plasma fired rapidly from their positions. "Dodge!" Lila yelled instinctively while bracing herself against her seat. Marcus yanked hard on the controls, evading one blast after another. His heart raced wildly in sync with every near miss. The ship responded beautifully. It twisted and turned effortlessly, avoiding incoming fire while simultaneously weaving through dense fields of asteroids. "This is insane." Marcus laughed, exhilarated by how well they worked together, the ship anticipating his every move. Just as they thought they'd escaped unscathed, a turret fired again, sending bolts streaking towards them. "Not today!" Marcus shouted defiantly, gripping tighter onto controls. In an unexpected twist, the vessel retaliated autonomously. Panels opened up, revealing sleek emitters along its sides. Without any input from Marcus, the ship fired back, obliterating turrets one after another. "Whoa!" Lila gasped, astonished, watching destruction unfold outside their viewport. Within moments, they broke free from chaos, the asteroid field fading into memory behind them as they soared back into open space. Breathless yet exhilarated, Marcus leaned back against his seat, exhaling deeply while glancing at Lila, who wore an expression filled with disbelief mixed excitement. "I can't believe we just survived that," he exclaimed, grinning widely. The ship hummed approvingly, vibrating beneath them, settling into steady rhythm, once more signaling satisfaction after its impressive display of capabilities. "What's next?" Lila asked curiously, staring ahead at vast expanse beyond them filled with possibilities waiting to be uncovered. The holographic display shifted again, revealing new coordinates extending farther into uncharted territory, a path leading deeper into mystery than either had anticipated. "We're about to find out," Marcus said, gripping controls firmly, ready for whatever lay ahead. As if sensing his resolve, the vessel engaged hyperdrive, plunging them both into unknown realms beyond imagination, streaking forward faster than light itself. In that moment, Lila realized something profound. They weren't just passengers aboard this alien craft, they were partners embarking together on an adventure destined to change everything. Part 3, Into the Abyss. As the ship surged forward into the unknown, Marcus Drayton felt a mix of exhilaration and trepidation. The stars outside transformed into streaks of light, and the ship's systems hummed with a life of their own. He was no longer just a mechanic, he was a pilot, a partner in this extraordinary journey. Yet, as they ventured deeper into uncharted space, an unsettling thought crept into his mind: what awaited them at their destination? "Tom, are you ready for this?" Lila asked, her voice steady but laced with excitement. She had settled into the co-pilot's seat, her eyes glued to the holographic display that charted their course. "Ready as I'll ever be," Marcus replied, gripping the controls tightly. "But we need to keep our wits about us. We don't know what we're going to find." The ship responded to his words, its systems humming in agreement as it adjusted its trajectory. The glowing red line on the display pulsed rhythmically, guiding them toward whatever lay ahead. Lila leaned closer to the console, studying the data streaming in from the ship's sensors. "According to this," she said, pointing at the screen, "we're approaching a cluster of planets that have never been explored by human eyes. This could be groundbreaking." Marcus nodded, feeling a surge of adrenaline. "Let's make history then." As they neared the cluster, the ship began to slow down, its engines purring softly. The view outside shifted from streaks of light to a breathtaking panorama of celestial bodies, planets adorned with swirling clouds and vibrant colors that defied description. "Look at that!" Lila exclaimed, her voice filled with awe as she pointed out a particularly striking planet bathed in shades of violet and green. "It looks like it has an atmosphere." "Let's get closer," Marcus said, adjusting their course toward the planet. The ship glided smoothly through space, approaching the alien world with grace. As they entered orbit around the planet, Marcus activated the scanning systems. The holographic display filled with data, atmospheric readings, surface temperatures, and even signs of potential life forms. "It's incredible," Lila murmured as she analyzed the information. "The atmosphere is rich in oxygen and nitrogen, almost Earth-like." Marcus felt a thrill at the prospect of exploring this new world. "We need to land and take samples," he said decisively. "Agreed," Lila replied, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "But we should be cautious. We don't know what kind of life forms might be down there." With that in mind, Marcus initiated landing protocols. The ship descended through the atmosphere gracefully, breaking through clouds that sparkled like diamonds in the sunlight. As they approached the surface, a lush landscape unfolded beneath them, vast forests interspersed with shimmering lakes and mountains that rose majestically toward the sky. "Touchdown in 3, 2, 1, Marcus announced as he guided the ship down onto a flat clearing surrounded by towering trees. The ship settled gently onto the ground with a soft thud, its engines humming down to silence. For a moment, they sat in awe of their surroundings. This alien world was unlike anything they had ever seen. "Let's suit up and explore," Lila suggested eagerly as she began gathering equipment from storage compartments. Marcus nodded and followed suit, donning his exploration gear while feeling a rush of excitement coursing through him. They were pioneers on an uncharted planet, a chance to uncover secrets long hidden from humanity. Once prepared, they exited the ship together. The air was fresh and invigorating, filled with scents that were both foreign and enticing. Sunlight filtered through the leaves above them, casting dappled shadows on the ground. "Wow," Lila breathed out as she took in their surroundings. "This place is beautiful." Marcus scanned their immediate vicinity with wonder. Vibrant flora surrounded them, flowers blooming in colors he couldn't name and trees that seemed alive with movement as if whispering secrets among themselves. As they ventured further from their vessel, curiosity drove them deeper into this alien paradise. They marveled at strange creatures flitting between branches, some resembling birds but adorned with iridescent feathers that shimmered as they moved. "Look at that!" Lila pointed excitedly at one creature perched on a branch above them. It had large eyes that sparkled like gems and emitted melodic sounds as it flapped its wings. "It's incredible how alive everything feels here," Marcus remarked softly while capturing images on his device for documentation later. Suddenly, a rustling sound interrupted their reverie. A low growl emanated from nearby bushes, causing both of them to freeze in place. "What was that?" Lila whispered nervously, glancing around for any signs of danger. "I don't know," Marcus replied, cautiously scanning their surroundings for movement. Before either could react, a massive creature emerged from behind thick foliage. It stood tall on 4 legs, its muscular frame covered in shimmering scales reflecting sunlight brilliantly. Lila gasped but didn't move, her eyes wide with awe rather than fear. The creature regarded them curiously, its large eyes studying them intently before it let out another deep growl. "Easy there," Marcus said, slowly raising his hands, instinctively trying to show he meant no harm. To his surprise, the creature seemed intrigued rather than aggressive. It stepped closer, sniffing at the air while tilting its head slightly as if assessing these strange newcomers. "This is amazing," Lila whispered, barely able to contain her excitement. "It's like something out of a dream." Marcus couldn't help but feel an overwhelming sense of connection forming between them and this alien beast. It was unlike anything he had ever experienced before, a bond forged through curiosity rather than fear. Suddenly, the creature let out a series of melodic sounds almost resembling speech. "What is it doing?" Lila asked, wide-eyed, watching closely. "I think it's trying to communicate," Marcus replied, astonished by how intelligent it seemed. The creature stepped forward again, its massive form towering over them yet exuding an aura of gentleness. Without thinking, Marcus knelt down, lowering himself closer to its level while extending his hand slowly toward it. To his amazement, the creature leaned forward, sniffing cautiously before nudging his palm gently with its snout. "I think it likes you." Lila laughed delightedly, capturing every moment on her device. Feeling emboldened by this interaction, Marcus reached out further, allowing his fingers to brush against its scales, which felt warm beneath his touch. In that instant, a wave of understanding washed over him, a connection transcending language or culture, bridging gaps between species. The creature responded by emitting soft coos, its body relaxing visibly as if welcoming him into its world. Lila watched in awe, unable to believe what was happening right before her eyes. For several moments, they shared this intimate connection until suddenly, a loud crack echoed through the forest, causing both Marcus and Lila to jerk back, startled. "What was that?" Lila exclaimed, scanning their surroundings anxiously. Before they could react, the ground trembled beneath their feet, sending vibrations through their bodies. "What's happening?" Marcus shouted, trying to maintain balance while glancing around frantically for signs of danger. Just then, a massive shadow loomed overhead, causing both explorers to look up in horror. A colossal spaceship descended from above, blocking out sunlight, casting darkness over everything below. "It's huge!" Lila shouted, pointing upward, her voice filled with panic. The alien vessel hovered ominously above them before deploying several smaller crafts which began descending rapidly toward their location. "We need to get back to the ship," Marcus yelled, grabbing Lila's arm, urging her forward. As they sprinted back towards their vessel, the ground shook violently again, sending debris flying around them. The creature watched them go, seemingly sensing danger before letting out an anguished roar that echoed throughout the forest. "Come on," Marcus urged, pulling Lila along, desperately trying not to look back, fearing what might happen next. They reached their ship just as one of those smaller crafts landed nearby, a hatch opening, revealing armed figures clad in sleek armor stepping out swiftly, surrounding them menacingly. "What do you want?" Marcus shouted defiantly, standing protectively in front of Lila despite feeling utterly outmatched. One figure stepped forward, removing their helmet, revealing an alien face adorned with intricate markings glowing faintly under sunlight. "We mean no harm," it spoke surprisingly fluent English, its voice smooth yet commanding. "We are here for knowledge." "Knowledge?" Lila echoed incredulously, glancing between Marcus and this alien, being unsure whether to trust them. "Yes," replied another alien, stepping beside its companion, gesturing toward their ship behind them. "Your vessel possesses technology unlike anything we have encountered before." Marcus felt tension rising within him but couldn't deny curiosity sparked by their words. "What do you want with our ship?" "We seek collaboration," came the reply firmly yet invitingly. "Together, we can unlock secrets beyond imagination." Lila exchanged glances with Marcus, who hesitated, weighing risks against potential discoveries awaiting them, all while sensing urgency pressing upon him from every side. Finally, he took a deep breath, steeling himself for whatever lay ahead. "All right," he said, slowly meeting their gaze unwaveringly. "Let's see where this leads us." Part 4, The Hidden Truth. As the ship surged through the vastness of space, Marcus Drayton felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. The vessel, which had once seemed like a mere machine, had transformed into something more, a partner in their journey. The stars blurred into streaks of light once more as they entered hyperdrive, but this time, there was an undeniable sense of purpose guiding them. "Where do you think it's taking us?" Lila Voss asked, her eyes fixed on the holographic display that pulsed with vibrant colors and symbols. The red line traced their course deeper into uncharted territory, leading them toward a point that seemed to shimmer with potential. "I don't know," Marcus admitted, his heart racing with anticipation. "But I have a feeling it's important." The ship hummed in response, its systems resonating with an energy that felt almost sentient. It was as if it understood their conversation and was eager to reveal its secrets. As they traveled deeper into the unknown, Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the brink of something monumental. After what felt like an eternity, the ship abruptly dropped out of hyperdrive. The stars resolved into pinpricks of light once again, revealing a breathtaking sight. A massive celestial body loomed ahead, a planet encircled by a ring of asteroids and debris. "Look at that!" Lila exclaimed, her voice filled with awe. "It's beautiful." Marcus nodded, captivated by the planet's vibrant hues. Swirls of blue and green danced across its surface, hinting at vast oceans and lush landscapes. But there was something else, something that made his skin prickle with unease. "Something feels off," he murmured as he adjusted their course toward the planet. "We should proceed with caution." As they approached the planet's atmosphere, the ship's sensors began to beep rapidly. Lila leaned closer to her console, her brow furrowing in concentration. "I'm picking up unusual readings, high levels of energy emanating from the surface." "Energy?" Marcus echoed, intrigued yet wary. "What kind?" "Unknown," she replied, tapping her screen furiously as data streamed in. "It's unlike anything we've encountered before, almost like a beacon." "A beacon?" Marcus repeated, his curiosity piqued. "Could it be a signal?" "Possibly," Lila said thoughtfully. "But we need to investigate further." With a nod of agreement, Marcus initiated landing protocols. The ship descended through the atmosphere smoothly, cutting through clouds that sparkled with iridescence. As they broke through to the surface below, they landed in a clearing surrounded by towering trees that seemed to sway gently in an unseen breeze. Once on solid ground, Marcus and Lila donned their exploration gear and exited the ship cautiously. The air was thick with humidity and rich scents, earthy and vibrant, as if life itself pulsed all around them. "Stay close," Marcus instructed as they ventured into the unknown landscape. The trees towered above them, their leaves shimmering like emeralds in the sunlight. As they moved deeper into the forest, Lila activated her scanner again, trying to pinpoint the source of the energy readings. "It's coming from somewhere nearby," she said, her voice tinged with excitement. "We need to find it." Suddenly, a loud rustling erupted from behind them. Both Marcus and Lila spun around, instinctively reaching for their equipment. "What was that?" Lila whispered nervously. "I don't know," Marcus replied, cautiously scanning their surroundings for movement. Before they could react, a massive creature emerged from behind thick foliage. It stood tall on four legs, its muscular frame covered in shimmering scales reflecting sunlight brilliantly. "Whoa!" Lila gasped but didn't move, her eyes wide with both fear and awe. The creature regarded them curiously, its large eyes studying them intently before it let out another deep growl. "Easy there," Marcus said, slowly raising his hands, instinctively trying to show he meant no harm. To his surprise, the creature seemed intrigued rather than aggressive. It stepped closer, sniffing at the air while tilting its head slightly as if assessing these strange newcomers. "This is incredible," Lila whispered, barely able to contain her excitement. "It's like something out of a dream." Marcus felt an overwhelming sense of connection forming between him and this alien beast. It was unlike anything he had ever experienced before, a bond forged through curiosity rather than fear. Suddenly, the creature let out a series of melodic sounds almost resembling speech. What is it doing? Lila asked, wide-eyed, watching closely. I think it's trying to communicate. Marcus replied, astonished by how intelligent it seemed. The creature stepped forward again, its massive form towering over them yet exuding an aura of gentleness. Without thinking, Marcus knelt down, lowering himself closer to its level while extending his hand slowly toward it. To his amazement, the creature leaned forward, sniffing cautiously before nudging his palm gently with its snout. I think it likes you. Lila laughed delightedly, capturing every moment on her device. Feeling emboldened by this interaction, Marcus reached out further, allowing his fingers to brush against its scales, which felt warm beneath his touch. In that instant, a wave of understanding washed over him, a connection transcending language or culture, bridging gaps between species. The creature responded by emitting soft coos, its body relaxing visibly as if welcoming him into its world. Lila exchanged glances with Marcus, who hesitated, weighing risks against potential discoveries awaiting them, all while sensing urgency pressing upon him from every side. Finally, he took a deep breath, steeling himself for whatever lay ahead. All right, he said, slowly meeting their gaze unwaveringly. Let's see where this leads us. Just then, a sudden tremor shook the ground beneath them. Both explorers stumbled slightly as another deep rumble echoed through the forest. What was that? Lila exclaimed, looking around anxiously. Before either could react, the massive creature turned abruptly, darting back into the dense underbrush, leaving them both startled. Wait! Marcus called out, but it was already gone. The ground shook again, more violently this time, accompanied by flashes of light illuminating gaps between trees. We need to get back to the ship. Marcus shouted, grabbing Lila's arm, urging her forward desperately, trying not to look back, fearing what might happen next. As they sprinted back towards their vessel, the ground trembled violently, sending debris flying around them. They reached their ship just as one of those smaller crafts landed nearby, a hatch opening, revealing armed figures clad in sleek armor stepping out swiftly, surrounding them menacingly. What do you want? Marcus shouted defiantly, standing protectively in front of Lila despite feeling utterly outmatched. One figure stepped forward, removing their helmet, revealing an alien face adorned with intricate markings glowing faintly under sunlight. We mean no harm, it spoke surprisingly fluent English, its voice smooth yet commanding. We are here for knowledge. Knowledge? Lila echoed incredulously, glancing between Marcus and this alien, being unsure whether to trust them. Yes, replied another alien, stepping beside its companion, gesturing toward their ship behind them. Your vessel possesses technology unlike anything we have encountered before. Marcus felt tension rising within him but couldn't deny curiosity sparked by their words. What do you want with our ship? We seek collaboration, came the reply firmly yet invitingly. Together, we can unlock secrets beyond imagination. Lila exchanged glances with Marcus, who hesitated, weighing risks against potential discoveries awaiting them, all while sensing urgency pressing upon him from every side. Finally, he took a deep breath, steeling himself for whatever lay ahead. All right, he said, slowly meeting their gaze unwaveringly. Let's see where this leads us.